Oh, hi! My name is Brent Glaza. I'm a junior at Nazareth University, majoring in social work. Today, I will be giving a book review on something I enjoyed very much. A book titled, Willow, Weep For Me, A Black Woman's Journey Through Depression. This book is a memoir written by Mary Dankwa, available anywhere for purchases. Throughout the book, it discusses a fictional character named Nana Ama, based on the author and her struggles dealing with depression as a black woman living in America near the end of the 20th century. The first thing I should talk about regarding the book are some major themes presented. The biggest thing that was presented were the different types of themes, different types of depression throughout the book, such as major depressive disorders, and seasonal depression. In addition, Nana Ama experienced a lot of social anxiety and isolation. For instance, her parents were a poor contribution towards her depression. She has experienced a lot of heartbreak and conflict and has had on and off relationships. At one point, she talked about changing her identity status to have a more appealing name. I will talk about that later on. She is a motherhood of a young infant named Dankwa, and she might actually gives her a more positive reinforcement for her depression. And also, finally, the book is a narrative timeline. By this, I mean the story does not follow a linear timeline as it's presented as what the chapters are important, rather than focusing on one time frame to another. The next thing I'm going to talk about are some moments that I found really inspiring or impactful. For instance, I found it really inspiring as she got rejected from being a different race at a high school dance. Another instance that I found really impactful was when she had her first encounter with sex with another guy, and rather than telling her parents, she told a close, trustworthy friend, and he gave him some moral support on it and how sex was supposed to truly feel like at the time. A significant person in her life named Jade, we also find out is depression. This really impresses me because in the past I've had depression and I've had a close family member who has dealt with depression too. Another incident, this one's more minor. She has blamed herself about witnessing death. For instance, her friend Michelle at the boarding school, and she felt like she could save her. Throughout the book, she has experienced different coping methods of trying to deal with her problems, like taking prescription medicine and has overdosed with alcohol. In addition, she has had 2 suicide attempts throughout the book, and she finally had a crisis during her therapeutic session when she found out her therapist was moving to another office building and felt as she was using her. Okay, next we're going to talk about a critical analysis of Dana Ankwa's portrayals of depression for being a black woman. One instance is her changing her identity to a more obscuring name she felt made her more identity stand out. She changed her name from Mary to Nana Ama, and she used it for all her professors referred to her as her new name. Additionally, she has attended a prep school with mostly white girls and chose to isolate herself from them. Finally, she refuses to talk about her parents during therapy, as what she says during the book is that it is not a typical African American woman to bring up her parents. And next I will talk about some personal insights, what motivated me, challenged me, or what made me think differently. One thing that I've noted is that other people deal with depression and negative emotions. It's not just me or her. It's everyone has a different life experience dealing with depression at some point. In fact, what I looked up, 1 out of 5 people will experience depression within by their 20s. Also, it had an impactful moment on me viewing Nana Ama's experience, as I'm now seeing how all the obstacles she has gone through is not just a single linear thing, but rather it's multidimensional. And finally, I would like to talk about some societal implications that might help Nana Ama during her times of depressions. Research has shown that African Americans make up a less percentage of medical professionals, in fact less than 4%, and have a higher percentage of untreated diagnosis of depression. They have poverty rates and discrimination for social norms, and I believe that Nana Ama could also benefit from safe sexual orientation, knowing how to consent and knowing when to have appropriate sexual contact. Here's a quote that I found when doing my research. Trust between Black women experiencing depression and clinicians is essential for effective care. What I believe this quote is saying is that it is both ways for the healthcare provider and the African American who is dealing with depression need to know how to trust and work with each other. In conclusion, Nana Ama's experiences with depression is not only an insightful memoir for African American women, but it also presents a whole multidimensional experience of anyone dealing with depression. If you or someone else is dealing with depression, my suggestion is to know when to get help and to talk to someone close, like a loved one or a therapist. Do not wait too long like Nana Ama did. There are many local resources available in your community as well as national support. I will now provide the 988 Suicide and Crisis Lifeline up on screen, as that is a very helpful resource if you or someone is in a crisis. Thank you.